Hello, YouTube. I whacked my head up here earlier. Had to cut that part out. Maybe I'll run it at the end of this segment here so you can see my little accident. Anyhow, I wanted to update you guys on what's going on with the cooler situation. As you can see, I have it here. I'm able to unload it with one hand because it is presently empty. Yeah. I decided as of this morning to go ahead and switch back to my old system of using the little mini cooler, the 12-volt cooler that you know, by the console area. And this one, even though it fits perfectly, it looks like it was almost designed exactly for this to slide back in here. I'm going to be getting rid of it, and the reason is very simple. It has to do with logistics. It became kind of a pain in the butt to keep having to come back here and pop this up open to get access to the food, because I had to do it pretty much, you know, after work or before work when I was trying to prepare breakfast or dinner. And when you've got your vehicle popped open like this and anybody can see inside, you kind of really lose your stealth and you kind of stand out. And also, it's a pain to have to come back here, pull this out, and of course it's heavy because it's full of food and ice. And I've decided, you know what, this isn't going to work. Keeping it back here actually did keep it cooler because it's got this extra air and, you know, insulation, and it's out of the in the shade. It's out from being in the front here, in the front window area, where the sun was just hitting the box all day. Now, some of you had very good suggestions for wrapping it, for filling it with foam, and doing all sorts of stuff to increase the R value or the insulation value on it, and that would certainly help. And, you know, I recommend people doing that if they want to keep a cooler like this. I personally, for my own needs and, you know, how I operate, how I go to work, how I do things, it's a little big. It can hold food for about a week or so or more for one person. But what I found is having to switch the ice out every 3 days or so. And if you extend it, you might be able to get 4 days out of it, maybe even 5 days if you're lucky. You still have to switch out the ice. And for me, I didn't really like having to spend $2 or $3 on ice. Now, you could get, you know, go to certain areas and get free ice and whatnot. But if you're working and, you know, on a tight schedule every day, because, like, I spend time commuting to work. I'm out here at the Cape right now, getting ready to head towards Cape Kennedy or Kennedy Space Center. It's a long ride. I don't have the time to run over and pick up ice every day unless I'm shopping at night. But if I'm shopping for ice at Walmart especially, I might as well just buy the food there that's already kept in their coolers, which is what I was doing in the past. So I'm going to be getting rid of this, putting it back into storage. I know somebody said, man, Denoy, you just threw away like 20 bucks, 18 bucks or whatever it was you paid for the cooler. Well, not really. Thanks to the magic of YouTube and you loyal viewers watching these videos, I think the videos on the cooler has generated more than $20. So I actually made a profit buying this cooler. And I have a nice cooler to boot. So if I decide to take the family somewhere for a picnic, you know, or want to just carry food for a couple days, I can do that by putting this back in here. But my current plans for me, you know, by myself in the van right now, is to go back to my old system. I'm going to be putting this cooler up and taking the drawer units that were here and putting it back. That is my plan, my goal. Now, as far as keeping food cold, I am going to use the old system, which means I can get free ice when I stop for gas, you know, somewhere at a gas station. It's a lot easier to just get 1 cup of ice than to try to get enough to fill a cooler, you know, a bag, a big, huge thing full, or to make 3 or 4 different stops at different places. You don't want to go to one place and ask for 4 or 5 cups of ice. That will certainly make you stand out and unwelcome. Now, you know, what I do is usually, like in the morning, you know, when I go to a gas station or something, or stop by a fast food place, I just run in there real quick, ask them for a cup of ice. They don't have an issue. But if I go there and get 5 cups of ice, yeah, they're probably going to have an issue. But anyhow, we are outside of Kennedy Space Center. This is the road. I kept getting confused. It is 405. And this is obviously a controlled area. So this is all, once you go beyond here, this is all protected land. This is all wildlife reserve, or preserve, I guess they call it. Is it reserve or preserve? It's a preserve. So all the animals are actually safe here. You cross this causeway here, and then you hit Merritt Island. Now, I think, I'm pretty sure actually, this river, which I keep getting confused, is the Indian River. Yeah. So the one closest to the mainland Florida, which is right here. The one closest to US 1, which is right there, the major road that runs that way. I don't know if you can see, you can't see it, it's behind the bushes. This river right here is the Indian River, and the next one between Merritt Island, which is where the Space Center is, and the water itself, the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, that is the Banana River. So I always get mixed up, but I think I got it right now. I think I know now for sure. I've taken the time to actually read the map. But yeah, this is the Indian River. And what was interesting the other day was while I was heading out from work, I'm trying to see if there's any alligators in here. While I was heading out from work, I actually did see an alligator in one of the canals along the ride over there. Yeah, so that was really neat. It's weird how nice the weather is right now because 2 days ago it was hailing. I don't think it hailed out over at this side though, but it hailed out around the Melbourne Palm Bay area. There was like in Satellite Beach, there was like golf-size hail. Yeah, people were getting dents all over their cars and stuff. So, Little Blue went unscathed. But I think if some hail hit it, it would improve the appearance. You know, give it a more of a rugged outdoor vehicle look. So, anyhow, we're going to be getting rid of the cooler. I will be putting it back into storage, and it was interesting. It was you know, it was really nice to have all this storage for food, because then you could buy food in bulk and hold it for like, you know, a whole week. But because I do mostly urban stealth camping and not off-grid, totally out in the boonies, I have access to food pretty much every day because I'm sleeping in the city. You know, usually by a store somewhere, a certain store, or I'm by the Planet Fitness or something. But usually a supermarket, Winn-Dixie, Walmart, Dollar Tree, or whatever is nearby, and I can go pick up food. And a lot of them have coolers or freezer in there, so I can get not free, but cold food that's already cold. The issue is that was bothering me was I pretty much had to eat everything within 1 or 2 days, because I couldn't really hold it for too long in my cooler, even if I keep ice in it. I guess I could, like cold cut sandwiches, which I did when I had the job in Orlando before. But I can't hold anything big, you know, like the rotisserie chicken, or I can't buy a huge rack of ribs or something, or steak when it's on sale and I see it. I have to pass it up unless I'm going to eat it that day, cook it all up and eat it that day. But when I do the math and say, hey, you know, it costs me about $2 to $5, let's go with $5 a week to keep the ice chest cold. So that's $5 a week, which is $20 a month. Now, that might not seem like a lot of money to most of you, but to me, that's like 2 or 3 steaks. Yeah. By keeping, you know, just buying ice to replenish the system, I could have bought 2 or 3 steaks to cook up to eat. And I don't know about you, but I really like steak or ribs. So, I typically spend anywhere from $6 to $10 for a, you know, like for when I want to treat myself, and that's to buy the meat to cook up. If I spend it on the ice, then I don't have that money to spend on the meat. I can buy the meat, cook it up, and eat it that day or the next day, which is what I was doing in the past, and use the ice money for that. So it's just a matter of switching priorities and putting the money towards actual food and not ice. Even though the ice did not go to waste when it melted here, I poured it into my, I don't know if you've seen my water dispenser. So I have like a little portable sink, a faucet that I can use because it can dispense water as I need it. But anyhow, that's what's going on. And, you know, for those of you who are totally off-grid, I do highly recommend something like this, and the suggestions people made to wrap it up and keep it really sealed. But for me, for urban stealth camping, it was too big. if I had a different layout where I could put it to the side of the vehicle, you know, because I did, but see, mine has batteries and also the gadgets there, and this side isn't available because of the current build. I'm not going to go with a big cooler like this. And honestly, you know, having lived in the van now for like, what, 3 years, I think going with just a little cooler was probably the best solution. Because I did have a setup similar to this before when I had the 2008 Grand Caravan with the stow and go seating. But it's just not that convenient to have to come back here and do this. And when I leave it up front, it took up the whole front seat, which will explain to you why I have a huge mess in here right now. This pile of junk is the result of this cooler here. It ended up displacing things. I didn't have, because I had it at the front seat for, you know, half of the week before I decided to clear this area and move it back here and take these drawers out. And now I don't have my tools with me. So there was a compromise that had to be made because, you know, on a minivan, you're very limited in space. So you have to be very careful what you put in here and decide, you know, but it's a matter of trial and error. That's why I recommend, if you're moving into van for the first time, try to give yourself some time to test the system out. Take it out for a couple of dry runs, you know. See what you're actually going to need, what you're missing, what is important to you and what isn't. I know for some people a big cooler like this would be very important, especially those who are going and boondocking in the boonies somewhere, not in the city area. But for urban stealth campers, I don't think having a large cooler is that important. I think you can get cold food pretty much every day and it's fresh. Whereas in here, it was cold and somewhat fresh. You know, and then just having to keep making the ice runs every day when I still had to go into the store anyways most of the days because I went in to use the restroom or whatever. Anyhow, I do have to get back to work, so I want to wish you all a safe day. It is the last week, my last day here at Kennedy Space Center. They do have a job fair coming up on Monday, which I'm planning on attending, so wish me luck. I'm going to go there and see if I can't turn this job into something semi-permanent. We'll see what happens. Until next time, everyone, take care. God bless you all. Thank you all for your kind thoughts, prayers, and encouragement. I want to let you know that I'm thinking of each and every one of you and encourage you to basically not worry too much and to just go with the flow and look at the next step of where you want to be and, you know, where you want to be in your life and take the steps that it takes to get there, you know, even if it's slow. Because honestly, to move forward, we have to start slow and take one step at a time. And, you know, even if life or whatever pushes us back, as long as we continue to press forward, eventually we'll get there. And if we don't, it's okay. You know, at least we tried. So until next time, everyone, take care. God bless you all. Please stay safe. Bye-bye now. Hello, YouTube. I know you guys are gonna probably wonder why I did this. I am actually going to switch out. Just hit my head. Don't! Hang on a moment. I gotta pick this up. I just whacked my head on this beam here. Anyhow, let me go ahead and fix this so I can talk a little bit without... Let me rub my head a little bit here. Hang on a moment. All right.